Hello and welcome back. I'm Kate's Cods and I will be drawing every Miku model in Hatsune Miku Project Diva. If you don't know what Project Diva is, it's a little rhythm game based on Vocaloid. Before getting into the speed paints, I want to give a big thank you to all of you that commented on my last video. It was very kind and sweet, so I just wanted to say thank you. Hopping into this first speed paint, this one by far took the longest, only because there are 8 Mikus in here. With this Miku, it's called P-Style, and it's basically just Miku in the same outfit, but for 8 different colors. So I decided to mix all of them in one big drawing, and this is what happened. For these speed paints, because a lot of the designs end up having like slight variations to the outfits, I've just decided if that ends up occurring, I'm just going to draw them in the same picture, but they're gonna either be interacting with each other or they're just like how it is in here, where they're not necessarily interacting with each other, but it is just one big drawing. Just so it's not repeats of the same thing over and over again. To talk a little more about the drawing process, I sketched all of the Mikus in different colors, or at least sections of Mikus in different colors, just to help me differentiate what I was drawing, because it was getting a little confusing once it came to the line art, just figuring out where everything was, so having the colored sketches really helped. And I ended up using the reflect tool quite a bit, just so I could get the proportions at least somewhat decent. It ends up being a big struggle of mine getting a bunch of characters in one drawing with either the same proportions or at least different proportions. It's a very big struggle and something I am always trying to practice at. I do have a little question for you guys. How are you guys liking the new style of the avatar? I wanted to try and switch it up, maybe do a different avatar for each video, just because the avatar is supposed to be me, and I don't look the same every day, so I just thought maybe switch it up, do something new. Do you guys like that, or do you think I should just stay with just one avatar consistently? I think one of the reasons why it took me so long to finish this guy was because of the coloring. Coloring for me is not necessarily the funnest part of doing digital art. I really like the sketching process and all the tools there are for sketching, at least on the program I use, which is Procreate. And thankfully for these Miku drawings, I have found a way to make coloring at least easier and more fun. It's just putting down the flat colors and then doing a little bit of shading on the skin, because the skin, for me, is the funnest part about any coloring process. Everything else I could really care less about. But then when it comes to the actual shading, I put down a base layer of whatever color I want on multiply, and then another layer of some other lighter color, and it's still on normal, but I just turned down the opacity on that guy just to give it some kind of variation. And that's what ends up being the easiest and the most fun, as well as less time consuming for the Miku drawings. We are coming up on the end of this first drawing. You'll see me futz around with the wording a little bit. I don't know what happened, it was flipped for a little bit, but with that, the Peace style Mikus are done. The next style I'll be doing is the Rin style. Rin is one of the twins in Vocaloid. She's twins with Len. I thought her name was Ren, not Rin. You'll even hear me in the last video say Ren and Len, because I went on a little rant about one of the styles that Miku was in, but I was very disappointed to find out her name was Rin. This is another style of Miku, basically just cosplaying another Vocaloid member, and it was nice coming back to just drawing one Miku instead of 8, because oh my god, was that a crazy amount of Mikus for one drawing. And because it's only one Miku, the rest of these drawings end up being very quick. But even though they were quick, they were all very fun to do because I love Miku just so much, so drawing her is always a blast. And with these last final touches, here is the Rin style Miku. So this next Miku, Sega owns Sonic and at least the Project Diva game, so they decided to make a collab and we have a Miku in a Sonic style. You'll see in this that I completely scrapped this first sketch because as I was doing it, I was like, I don't enjoy the hands, it doesn't feel very Sonic, and the pose just seemed very stiff. So then I ended up looking up some reference of people running and went for a more dynamic pose that captured Sonic a lot better. And then this go around of this sketch actually went a lot quicker. The hardest part about this whole sketch was the shoes, and you'll see in the line art that I futz around with the shoes quite a bit because I just didn't like them. Because Sonic's shoes in general don't look great, it just looks very weird and oval with no real recognizable features of like a normal shoe you would see on like a person. So I just kind of like futzed around with the shoes a bit and figured out where I was gonna go with them. When I get to these pants, I was trying to figure out how to put on Sonic or like a Sonic logo, and then I decided to ditch the whole thing because I preferred her pants with nothing on it. And also slightly out of laziness because I really didn't want to try and figure out how to put it on her pants. And with these last final touches, the Sonic style Miku is complete. These next two Mikus are the Space Channel Mikus. Both different channels, different designs, but there's not much to the design, so I focused more on the posing of each one and what I wanted the personality of each Miku to be. I wanted this Miku to feel more silly and a bit more fun, and then in the next Miku, you'll see that she ends up being a little more calm and like almost serene. With this Miku, I wanted to try a bit of a different technique. I've done this before where you put one layer of multiply and then just start erasing bits that you want to be lighter. I wanted her face to feel a little darker and that her eyes are almost glowing, just to give it a more, I don't know, sci-fi theme. And I feel like it worked kind of well for this Miku. I futzed around a lot with the words for this one because I just wasn't happy where everything was going. But after I figured it out, here is Space Channel 39 Miku. And now we are on to our final Miku. Like I said earlier, I wanted to focus more on this Miku being more calm and serene, because if they were actually two different channels with like two different broadcasters, I would like to think this one more likes to talk about more chill subjects, maybe a little bit of what's going on in their community and whatnot. And then with the previous Space Channel one, I like to think that she's more of like a crazy, eccentric, very pumped to be there kind of attitude, while this one is very excited to be there, but she is just a little more calm. And with these last final touches, this is Space Channel 5 Miku. And these are all the Mikus that I've completed today in this part. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Maybe even leave a comment. These are only going to come out every other week, so maybe hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload.